on the busy streets of Lagos, where car horns never rest and the sun shines hot on yellow buses. A love story began in the most unexpected way. Everyone in Nigeria knew the name Daniel Okoye. He was young, he was handsome, and he was one of the richest businessmen in the country. His company built luxury estates, owned hotels, and invested in oil and tech. His face was always on billboards and business magazines. People admired him. Some feared him. Many wanted something from him. But no one truly knew him. Every morning, Daniel's black SUV passed through Victoria Island on its way to his office. And every morning, at the same traffic light near Falomo Bridge, there was a young woman sitting quietly by the roadside. She wore old clothes. Her slippers were worn out. A small bowl rested in front of her. Most drivers avoided eye contact. Some wound up their windows quickly. A few dropped small change without looking at her face. But one morning, something made Daniel look twice. Their eyes met. Her eyes were calm. Not desperate. Not angry. Just calm. The traffic light turned green, but Daniel did not move immediately. The cars behind him began to honk loudly. "Sir," his driver said nervously. Daniel blinked and signaled to move, but he could not forget her eyes. The next day, he looked for her again. She was there. This time, Daniel told his driver to stop. The driver was shocked. "Sir? Here." "Yes." "Stop." Daniel stepped out of the SUV. People began to stare. Some even took out their phones. He walked toward her. Up close, he saw that she was younger than he thought, maybe in her mid-20s. Her skin was smooth, her posture straight. She did not look broken by life. He dropped some naira into her bowl. "Thank you," she said softly. Her voice was gentle and educated. Daniel frowned slightly. "What is your name?" "Aisha," she replied. "Why are you here, Aisha?" She looked at him for a moment before answering. "Life changes quickly." That was all she said. Daniel stood there longer than he planned. Then he nodded and walked back to his car. But something about her words stayed in his mind the entire day. Life changes quickly. The next morning, he stopped again. This time, he brought food. They spoke for 5 minutes. Then 10. Then 15. Soon, it became a routine. Every morning, Daniel Okoye, the billionaire businessman, stopped to talk to a roadside beggar. The internet soon noticed. Photos began to circulate. Is Daniel Okoye dating a beggar? Has Nigeria's richest bachelor lost his mind? Business partners warned him, "Be careful of your image." His mother was even more direct. "Daniel, people will talk. You must protect your name." But Daniel did not care. When he sat beside Aisha on the hot pavement, he felt something he had not felt in years. Peace. Aisha did not ask him for money beyond what he offered. She did not beg him for favors. She did not act impressed by his wealth. Instead, she asked him strange questions. "Are you happy with all your money? What would you do if everything disappeared tomorrow? Do you trust the people around you?" No one had ever asked him such things. He found himself opening up to her. He spoke about pressure, about loneliness, about how people only saw his bank account. And Aisha listened. One afternoon, heavy rain poured suddenly over Lagos. The sky grew dark. Traders rushed to pack their goods. The streets flooded quickly. Daniel saw Aisha try and protect her small bowl from the rain. Without thinking, he removed his jacket and held it over her head. "You'll get sick," he said. She looked up at him, rain falling around them. "And you won't?" she asked gently. He laughed for the first time in weeks. That was the day he realized he had fallen in love. Weeks later, Daniel made a decision. He asked Aisha to meet him at a small restaurant on the island. Not a luxury place, just simple and quiet. When she arrived, she was still dressed simply, but clean and graceful. Daniel took a deep breath. "Aisha, I don't care about your past. I don't care about what people say. I want you in my life." The restaurant went silent. Aisha stared at him. "Do you understand what you are saying?" she asked. "Yes." "You are a billionaire, Daniel." "And you are Aisha," he replied. "That is enough for me." She did not answer immediately. Instead, she said something unexpected. Will you come with me tomorrow night to an event? What event? You'll see. The next evening, Daniel arrived at one of the most expensive hotels in Abuja for a major investment gala. He was invited as a guest speaker. The hall was filled with politicians, oil executives, and foreign investors. He looked around for Aisha. She was nowhere in sight. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. A voice spoke into the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and majority shareholder of Zara Energy Group, Miss Aisha Bello. The doors opened. Daniel's heart stopped. Walking into the hall, dressed in a stunning gold gown, surrounded by security and board members, was Aisha. But she did not look like a beggar now. She looked powerful, confident, untouchable. The crowd stood and applauded. Daniel felt his legs weaken. Aisha Bello was not poor. She was a hidden daughter of a late oil magnate. After her father's death, she inherited billions in assets. She had been away from the public eye for years. And the roadside beggar? That was her choice. She wanted to understand people, without her wealth speaking first. She wanted to see how society treated the invisible. After the applause, she walked straight toward Daniel. He could barely speak. You, he whispered. Yes, she said calmly. Why didn't you tell me? She smiled slightly. Would you have treated me the same? Daniel thought back to the first day at the traffic light. Yes, he said honestly, but I'm glad you didn't, because I loved you before I knew. She studied his face. When you sat beside me on the pavement, you didn't know who I was. You risked your reputation. You ignored the cameras. You listened to me. She stepped closer. That is the man I wanted to know. Daniel shook his head in disbelief. You tested me. No, she replied softly. I protected my heart. The room watched them with wide eyes. Two of Nigeria's youngest billionaires had fallen in love without knowing each other's true wealth. But what shocked the public even more was what happened next. Aisha announced that her company would partner with Daniel's to create shelters and skill centers for homeless women across Lagos and Abuja. I once sat on the roadside, she said into the microphone, not because I had no money, but because I wanted to see who notices the forgotten. The crowd clapped loudly. Daniel reached for her hand. Months later, their wedding became one of the biggest events in Nigeria. But away from the cameras, they often returned quietly to that same traffic light in Lagos. Sometimes they sat in their car and watched. Sometimes they stepped out and spoke to people on the street, because they never forgot how their love began. Not in a boardroom, not in a mansion, but at a busy traffic light under the hot Nigerian sun. And in a world where money speaks the loudest, they found love in silence. Sometimes the greatest love stories are not about wealth. They are about seeing the heart before seeing the bank account.